Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's Andrea. Today I have my first update for the 2022 version of Pan Those Eyeshadows. Of course, this project was created by Alexy many moons ago. It has taken on a life of its own in the past few years, and I'm really enjoying watching updates this year because everybody is tweaking the project to fit their needs, I guess, their panning eyeshadow needs. So I am no exception to that rule. I have decided I'm only going to work on 4 shadows at a time this year. I started out with 6, and then I went down to 5 last year, and now I'm down to 4 because I just love eyeshadow so much. And I have eyeshadow in like literally every single project that I'm doing, so I think 4 is good. I am only working on palettes, no singles this year, and I'm only working on palettes that do not have pan in them, because if they don't have pan, that means I probably haven't used them very often. And that is definitely the case with pretty much everything that I've rolled in so far for the update or for the intro. So I'm going to go through the shadows that I have in this project, and we'll see if we roll anything in this month. This is just the way I have them written on my list. I don't know like what order I rolled them in. It really doesn't matter. But first I have this Sonia Kashuk Sextet in Gems and Jewels. This is super old. It's still okay. It's still usable. I am wearing everything on my eyes today as well. This I've got on my lower lash line, and the shade that I rolled in was here. It already had some use on it. I only used it 4 times, so I actually mainly used this one as a crease shade. It's definitely more satiny looking than metallic, so I didn't really mind using it in my crease. That was fine. Next, I had this Love Luxe Beauty Bittersweet Quad, and I have this shade up here, Juicy. This marbled shadow is just... I don't want to repress it because then I'm going to lose the marbling, but it's just so crumbly. But I have used this one 9 times, and this I have in as like my transition. You can maybe, oh my gosh, I'm so like afraid of this pink shadow. You can not see anything because my hand is in the way. It's like a little disturbed, but there's not even really a dip, and I just totally effed that shadow up. Awesome. So, whoops. This one is obviously staying in. And I think there's a swatch of that. I'm going to need to go wipe my hands off because I've got pink everywhere. But I also, the past couple of years I have been doing like usage. If I hit 30 uses, then I'll roll it out. I kind of want to be stubborn this year, and nothing gets rolled out unless I like really hate it and I want to declutter it or something. I'm going to do this the old-fashioned way, and shadows are staying in until they have pan on them unless there's like extreme circumstances. So this one is probably going to be in for a while because even though it's a very like creamy and kind of powdery formula, it is pretty pigmented and I don't need a ton. So this is probably going to stick around for quite some time. I need to go take care of this before I do more swatches. And another thing I should probably mention, I am randomizing the palettes, but I am picking the shades and I'm doing it no pan left behind style. So I have to use every single shade in the palette at least once, but I get to pick which shadow I want to hit pan on. So next is my Alter Ego Goddess palette, and for these, I forgot to mention it. So obviously I don't have pan in the Sonia Kashuk or the Love Luxe Beauty, but these are small palettes. I did use each shade 1 time. You'll just have to trust me that I did it, but I did it. And then for palettes like this that are a bit bigger, I have the Post-its on the back, and hopefully you can see everything is crossed off. So I have used everything 1 time. This is the Alter Ego Goddess palette, obviously. And the shade I picked to work on was Freya. And hopefully it's really hard to see, but I did, because it's a white, like, kind of duochrome shade, I did hit pan. I'll try to take a picture and insert a picture because I'm not, like, that's pan. It doesn't look like it, but it is pan. So I used this 15 times. I've got it on my inner corner and on my brow bone. That's how I used it, though, 15 times. I'm glad I got this palette. I like it a lot. I am glad I got this palette for another reason, because as much as I do like the color story and everything, it's made me realize that if I had gotten the gold palette, which I was so close to doing, but then it, she discontinued it and it was sold out everywhere and I couldn't get it. Like, that was probably the best thing that could happen to me. Because like I said, I like this color story. I like these shades, and obviously they're not like, this isn't a 100% spot on dupe, but I've watched comparison videos. It's close enough. There's no way I would have gotten $129 worth of use out of the Natasha Denona Gold palette. This was $15. I can definitely get $15 worth of use out of this palette. So I'm glad that I have this instead of the Natasha Denona, which sounds kind of funny, but I really like it. But that being said, I used each shade once. I did hit pan, so this one is going to be rolling out. I actually hit pan on it today. Oh, I guess I'll give you a swatch on my other hand, since it's a very pretty, this shade isn't really anything special as far as like uniqueness, but it's a pretty highlighting shade. And then the last palette that I rolled in was my Colourpop Bye Bye Birdie palette. This is the one where the shadow popped out last time. It fell out. So I have not used every shade. I've used every shade except for two. One of the glitters and then the other Super Shock that's in this palette. So I've used every shade except for this glitter and this Super Shock. But as you can see, this is the shade I was working on. This is the shade Ariel. I did not hit pan, so I wasn't gonna like force it to use these shades today just because I knew this wasn't rolling out anyway. I used that Super Shock 5 times. It's gonna take a while to hit pan because it is drying out, so it doesn't pick up as much. And it is more of like a topper type of shade than a super opaque one. Oh, I should have closed my blinds, but hopefully you can see that right there. So that means this is very exciting. We get to pick a new palette. So I just spent like 20 minutes doing a wheel of names with all of my eyeshadow palettes on it. There are 89 palettes on here. This doesn't include every single one that doesn't have pan, because palettes that I'm working on in other projects, like I have the Colourpop Raw Beauty Christie at Forest Sight palette that doesn't have pan, but I am working on hitting pan in my This Is Fantasy project. So like palettes like that I'm already working on hitting pan in, but just don't have pan yet, I left off the list because I'm already working on those palettes. I want to work on something that I haven't used in a long time. So I'm gonna hit the palette. There we go. The Glamlight Pie palette. Okay. Okay. I am working on that in my Panners Bingo, but it's only no pan left behind style in that project. I'm not working to hit pan, so that's why it's in there. So I'm going to go grab that, and then we'll pick a focus shade for me to work on. Okay, so this is what the Glamlight Pie palette looks like. This is what mine looks like. I'm trying to think how I want to do this. So this is in my Panners bingo, as I said, for no pan left behind. So, and I've used, spoiler, I've used it one time so far, and I've only used the blush. I haven't used any eyeshadows. So I think what I'm going to do is I still have to use them once for that project, and then I have to use them another time for this project. So everything in here is going to be used twice, and then I'll pick a shade to work on. And what do I want to work on? Immediately, I'm kind of, do I want to, you know what, do I want to do a matte? Do I want to dare do a matte? I don't know. Let's just swatch a bunch of things because, like I said, I've swatched some of this stuff, not all of it. Ooh, that one is pretty. Am I working on anything like that one? I don't know. That's the shade Peach, and it's just, that's a pretty shade. Okay, so I know I'm not gonna work on this Mud Pie shade. That's just a dark brown. I've hit pan on a dark brown in that OMFG Cosmetics palette for Deck of Panning. I'm working on a brow powder, so I want to focus on my brow powder and not a dark brown shadow. I'm not gonna use that one. The pumpkin one, it's pretty, but I feel like it's very similar. Like, it's a darker tone, but it's a similar orange to this, and I have other oranges in my Beauty A to Z, so I don't want to use that. This mixed berry, I have like a dark hot pink kind of shade in my Beauty A to Z from Colourpop, so I don't want to do that. I'm working on a gold. I don't know, that peach one kind of looks like just a darker version of Ariel. What, Raven? Let's see. I don't know. Oh, I already swatched that one. Wow, I'm special. I'll swatch it again. So that leaves these. Okay, this is apple pie. I'm not going to use that because I am working on that Lioness shade in my Safari Rain palette, which I don't want that to compete. What shade is that? That's Nutty Pecan. That's kind of pretty. And then this, I'm working on a lot of purples as well, so that's Blueberry. I'm not going to work on that. Then I'll swatch Blackberry again, because apparently I forgot that I swatched it the first time. So there it is twice. That's not a shade that I want to work on. So I'm either going to do Peach or Nutty Pecan. Which one should I do? I'm going to do Peach. That was my first, I swatched it. That was my first inclination. That's the one that I wanted to use. So, and it goes really well with my color story. So that is my new color story. That shade is really pretty. Okay, I'm glad that I brought that in. I was questioning a little bit, but I think that's gonna be one. Well, I actually don't know how hard the metallic formula for glam. I don't know how hard any glam light shadows are to hit pan in because I've never hit pan in a glam light shadow. It feels pretty soft and creamy. I don't think I'll have too much of a problem hitting pan in it, but I am glad that this got rolled in, even though I have it in my Panners bingo already, because it's nice to not have an extra palette on top of the stuff that I've already got. So instead I can just use this one, and these shadows are beautiful. I wanted this palette so bad, and I got it, and I'm never use it. And I will say, I already used the blush once for Panners bingo. I will have to use the blush again for No Pan Left Behind in the Pan Those Eyeshadows. But besides one time on the blush, I've never used any of these other shades, so I have to use them all twice. Once for Panners bingo, once for this project. And then I'm going to focus on peach. And I'm really excited, actually. So, yay. I'm glad this got rolled in. So, that was my update for my first... So, that was my first update for Pan Those Eyeshadows. And I hope you enjoyed. I hope your panning eyeshadow, just panning in general, is going well. So far, we're 2 months into the year, and I've already hit pan on 5 eyeshadows, so I'm about on track. If I hit 5 pans every 2 months, I'll get to 30 at the end of the year, which is what I was at last year. I'd like to do more, but, you know, it is what it is. We'll see. But that is it for today. I feel it's kind of strange, like, these first 2 months, especially for me, to pick the colors, and these are the colors that I pick, but it's just what I want to work on, I guess. I don't know. Like, I'm working on so many colorful shadows for Beauty A to Z that I feel like I need some more neutrally things to tone it down a little bit sometimes, and these shadows are perfect for that. So that was my update, as I've said like 5 times already. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you're staying safe and sane and healthy, and I'll talk to you in the next one.